I built this complete 3D adventure game in Godot, and I didn't model a single asset by hand. It has a magical village, quests, spells, and a boss that has captured a dog. Every 3D model that you are seeing was generated with Hyper3D Rodin. I've always wanted to create worlds like this, but 3D models has always been a limitation for me. In this video, I walk you through the complete workflow that I use to generate the models, bring them into Godot, and build the final game. This is not about replacing artists. It is about giving people with strong ideas a faster way to bring them to life. So let's get started right away. Okay, so this is the final result of the game. As you can see, it looks just very amazing. I love the environment in general, like all the lights, the trees, even the chest. We also have, for example, one NPC over here, another one over here, a book that looks just gorgeous. And well, even a castle, as you can see. So literally dozens of things, even like this super cute dog. And even from the top, like, I really love it. I did all this using Rodin. This doesn't actually like replace an artist, for example, or not any of that. You can take a look at like all the different generations that I had to do, all the tweaks, etc. But well, it is still like a tool that saves you a lot of time. They recently released Gen 2.5, the most capable model yet. And what I love about it is that you can select a thinking effort. So the more time that the AI takes, of course, the better the result is gonna be. But for simpler stuff, maybe, I don't know, a prop that is a little bit smaller. I know, for example, this potion over here, we may not need to use a super high thinking effort, so it's very cool that you can tweak this. And for a same generation, okay, you can determine how many assets you want. We'll actually see this in a second. So let's do a test. You can either input text, for example, a wizard with a blue hat, and this will generate concept images that then Rodin's gonna turn into 3D models. And as you can see, with just a few clicks, okay, you can ideate and iterate, okay, on this initial image, okay? Or you can also click here and upload yours. So I have here the pictures from the characters, okay, of the original game. So let's upload the wizard. You can have like lots of controls here to control, for example, the bounding box, also voxel control net, and even point cloud control net. But well, this is a little more advanced. And then over here on effort, as this is a character and has a lot of details, I'm gonna go with extreme high, for example, and then generate. Then in another tab, I'm gonna start the same generation, but in medium, which as you can see, it's gonna take way less time than extreme high. And over here, I'm gonna start it in extreme low, which should give me a result, as you can see, within approximately 4 seconds. So let's actually click on generate and see how much time it actually takes. Okay, so here it is. I think it took something like 10 seconds. So this mode is very useful for when you wanna just ideate a little bit and see quick results, okay? And as you can see, it actually matched the shape very well. Of course, maybe it's not that detailed, but if you wanna quickly see a result, quickly see an idea, this is a very useful mode. Then in medium, it did take some time, and you can start to see more details, for example, in the hat, in the beard. So for example, here you can see the differences between low and medium, and well, then we even have extreme high, okay, that did take some more time, but well, take a look at the amazing details that these models have. So here you can see low, which took around, I believe, 10 seconds or so, then medium, which took around 25 seconds, and then extreme high, that is spent something like 90 seconds. I think that still like all of them were very fast. Here you can see a side-by-side comparison of the exact same wizard, but in extreme low, medium, and extreme high. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do is enable T and A or A pose in the 3 of them, because then I actually wanna like be able to animate this character and all that. Here in the extreme high model, I can select micro to enhance the surface detail, and also detailed, once again just to make sure the geometry is as good as possible. You can also review the geometry if you found any problem, but if not, you can just click on confirm. And by the way, they have a smart low poly option, which could also be interesting for even more optimized models. And another thing that I love is this 10 million polygon option that I have over here. This will give me a super detailed geometry, but actually for optimization here, if you select, for example, quad mesh, and with this number, okay, it's more than enough, at least from my testing. Then let me also confirm the geometry, okay, in all the other models. Okay, and this was the final geometry of high, medium, and then extreme low. Then let's generate the materials in all of them, and also in the extreme high model, I'm gonna enable face restore just to make sure that the face looks, well, as good as possible. And once it is done, well, you can redo it if you want or confirm it. And also I can select extreme high 12K textures, and as you can see, this makes the wizard just look amazing. These are all options that make the final model look very, very detailed. And well, take a look at this. This is extreme low. Then here we have medium, and then here we have extreme high. Then you select how you wanna download your model. For Godot, usually GLV, then download. This will give me a zip file that I can extract, and inside I have the PBR and the shaded version. I can grab any of them and drop them inside Godot. Here I have it, so if I double click it, I can open it up right away. I can't believe, like, it looks very, very good. And well, to place it in the scene, I can just drag and drop it. And here it is next to the magical tower. Another thing for quick ideation, or to be able to quickly see a result. Here I have this image, and let's click over here to increase the number of results that we can get at a time. But for default, let's put extreme low, and let's increase it to something like 10. And let's see how much time this takes. As you can see, all generations will start at the same time for the same model, for the same idea, let's say. And as you can see, I think literally in a matter of 30 seconds or so, all versions literally will get finished. So this is version 1, that as you can see looks very, very awesome. And well, then here is, for example, version 2, version 3, version 4, etc. So as you can see, in a matter of a few seconds, we have 10 versions of this asset. Once again, to quickly visualize ideas, this is amazing. And well, take a look at, for example, the texture that we got for the wizard. For example, these icons over here. Literally everything feels good. Or well, not only humanoid characters, but also, for example, this very amazing dog. And you can even take a look at the wireframe that looks very clean and optimized for game development. And the same thing with the villager, for example, it looks awesome. And take a look at the detail that the model has. And once again, when we change it to wireframe, well, it's a very clean topology. As you can see, I've used extra high for all these models in specific that I'm showing. Well, the result is very amazing. Like literally, I can't believe how good this tool is. They even have a 12K texture, so you can get very interesting results. And well, this is a short time lapse about how I actually started importing everything inside Godot and how I actually designed the world for this level. So I started positioning the different buildings, the different characters, different props, all that, and well, I ended up loving the final result. And well, this is how the game looks like. So I'm gonna hit play, and well, the game starts with some text that tell you about the stories that the game has, and even like a game title. And then, okay, it fades into a very simple scene, okay, that is just like a boss, okay, that has your dog over here. And as you can see, well, the boss takes your dog to the castle. And after that, well, you basically appear, okay, and you have to rescue it. So the first quest is speaking to a village mage. So let's go to this guy right over here and then press E to speak. And this wizard also has some animations and is telling us that we need to find this golden relic. And once that we do it, we can now shoot fireballs at these enemies, okay? So once again, these goblins have been generated with Rodin. They look very, very awesome. And now let's go over here. And we have these amazing knights that they can literally hit us with their sword. And well, once again, then let's shoot some fireballs at them. The next quest is bringing this mana crystal to the merchant. So let's do exactly that. So here's this guy. It looks super, super awesome. Press E to trade. And now we have, as you can see, a few spells, okay, that we can actually use. So we have a frost shard, a spark, and the fireball. Now we have here this chest. So as you can see, we need a code. So we need to read the spell book that is right over here. And here we have the code. Here it is. So let's confirm it. There it is. And now we have to take this potion. That as you can see, now our health got restored. And we have to gather these crystal shards. So here is the other one. And now the castle gate is open and we can go ahead and rescue our companion. So this is gonna fade in into the castle, okay? And we have the boss that you can see throws like magical spells at us. It looks really awesome. And well, we even have like the dog right over here in the cage, okay, that we have to rescue. So let's go ahead and fight this guy with all the spells that we currently have, and here it is, okay, and we've defeated, and the game is finished. So this is all for today's video. I am super happy with the final result, and you can start using Rodin right now using the link in the description down below. Bye bye.